time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up.
Welcome everyone. I hope you're still awake after the lunch break. I know big food in the belly, but I hope you guys doing well. Mikaela, welcome to Berlin.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Welcome to the GreenTech Festival. I know you've been here since Wednesday already.
Yeah.
You enjoyed the Green Awards Gala and yesterday the main stage and the entire exhibition. And I've seen you have the perfect outfit.
Thank you. You know, I was thinking I'm going to GreenTech Festival for the very first time, and I made sure that I would have a matching outfit. Otherwise, as you can see over there, our colors from the RXR car is more to the blue side, but then I decided to go green for this event.
That's absolutely perfect, because you see in the bench there, that's our CI color, and it fits the outfit.
Yeah.
So that's preparation, what I call it. So, Mikaela, tell the audience who you are, why you are the fastest female in the world, and where you came from a little bit.
Well, thank you for that. Mikaela Åhlin-Kottulinsky from Sweden, 31 years young, I would like to say now, racing in Extreme E. So I've been born and raised in a motorsport family, and as you may not know, motorsport is one of the very few sports where females and male compete against each other on equal terms. So I grew up with a grandfather. He won Paris-Dakar back in 1980. And my dad was a rally driver, my mom was a rally driver, and my brother knew from the moment he was born that he wanted to be a rally driver. So I pretty much didn't have any choice than to go into motorsport. So I started with motorsport, did some go-karting. Fun fact, I was not a talent from the very beginning. I was actually like second last, so it was like a win to me. But I'm very stubborn, so I didn't give up. So continued to race and so on. Did go-karts, took my first wins. Was racing here in Germany, so I took my first ever win at Nürburgring. So that's Nürnberg?
Yes.
Not far from here?
Well, I'm from Austria, so I don't know. But
okay. But, yeah, and then racing race cars, and then all of a sudden this project with Extreme E came up. And Extreme E, for those of you that don't know about Extreme E, it's fully electric off-road racing. They will race all around the world. So we were in Saudi Arabia earlier this year. We've been to Chile, Uruguay, Sardinia, Scotland, and we're highlighting climate crisis. So all the places we go to are heavily affected by the climate crisis. And then we do initiatives there on site. So racing full electric, and also the first equal motorsport racing series in the world. So we are one female driver and one male driver on each team in each car.
And that's the perfect word, because before we go into the sustainability side, I want to talk about the equality side, because that's even on the same level as important as sustainability. I think especially in sport and very special in motorsport, because I think have a little background in motorsport as well, and it's a very male-driven sport. And I know how hard it is, not just for female, but in general for young people to get access to cars, to track time, and I know how important it is. And maybe tell us a little bit. You come from a family where your mom were already a race driver, right? So I think that's maybe easier for you to be a race driver, but I think maybe other families, they have issues, when the little girl says, I want to be the race driver. So what is your feeling about that, and what did change so far, and what Extreme E helped to change the perspective of female in motorsport?
I think representation is so important, and I think just to get to that state where a little girl can say the words, I want to be a race car driver, in order to come even to that stage, you need to be able to see that it's possible. And I think Extreme E is really showcasing that and doing that. Like you say, I grew up with a mom being a rally driver, but not everyone is lucky to have that state. And therefore, what Extreme E is doing is putting equal and equality at the top level of motorsport. And I think also looking from season 1 in 2021 till now, the performance average gap between the male drivers and the female drivers has decreased. So we are 51% much better. And I have to say, in my team, racing with Johan Kristoffersson, is a 6-time world champion. I've learned so much, and I was more behind him time-wise than I am now. I was even quicker than him a few times in our last race.
And I mean, you were quicker also than Sebastian Loeb. I mean, he's
True.
9-time world champion in rally, and
Yeah.
he's a legend like Lewis Hamilton, and you were faster than him.
Yeah.
So that means, especially I think in motorsport, because if the car is the same, there shouldn't be a difference.
No.
I think what's still missing is that getting access to track and having track time and getting practice.
Yeah.
What do you think in terms of what Extreme E brought up and raised awareness for equality? Did that change since you were in the series, or how can we improve that as well? So you and other females and young females get more, possibilities to have track time.
I think really what Extreme did was that when they were taking this initiative with one female driver, male driver, that it's so important for both drivers to perform at the very top level. So all of a sudden I was having the right circumstances, the right support in order to grow and be better as a driver. Because I often say, you can be a very good soccer player if you're playing flip-flops, if you're super talented, but if you want to be the best, you need to have those proper soccer shoes, and if you don't have that, you're not going to be the very best in your sport. And that's the same thing in motorsport. You need to have those, like you say, track time, the right circumstances, and I think Extreme E really showed that. There's been initiatives before with maybe female teams or female racing series, but it wasn't that 100% support into those series or into those teams, so the females weren't given the chance to really win races and be there at the top level. But with Extreme E we got that, and that representation is really important, and I can definitely see it spread all over the motorsport world, but also outside of the motorsport world, that we are inspiring in a great way. So I mean, having messages now on Instagram and social media from young girls wanting to be race car drivers, and that's not a weird thing for them. It's 2024, it shouldn't be weird that girls want to be race car drivers, but from time to time it still is. And that's why initiatives, like what we do with RXR and Extreme E is so important.
Perfect. I mean, now you're racing against male, against female, so there is no difference, right? I mean, what do you think, for example, I mean, maybe that's like a critical question. What do you think about Formula One Academy, for example, right? Just females racing against females and not racing against males. Why should be there a difference, right?
Agree. No, I think the good part or the difference when it comes to F1 Academy compared to Extreme E is that in Extreme E we are drivers that are not at the beginning of our career, so I feel lucky that I've gotten really great support all the way up to Extreme E. I've been in good teams in Scandinavia, I've competed at the top level. I did develop though a lot when I came into Extreme E, but I did have a good like base to start from. So if you look now at F1 Academy, there's really young girls and they are given this opportunity, because in the end also motorsport is a very financial sport. It takes a lot of financial funding, and then you need to have partners that believes in you as a driver, female or male driver. And in the past we've seen that not many have given the chance and opportunity to young female drivers. So I believe this makes a platform for young female drivers in F1 Academy to learn and to build their own brand. But I also really hope that there's an after plan for it. Yeah. So I really hope that the winner of F1 Academy gets this right support, that they can be in the right team and get this track time and really grow as drivers. Because if you start an initiative like this and you don't think far ahead, then I don't think it's going to be a success. So I really hope that they are thinking far ahead.
Okay, perfect. Before we go into sport and sustainability, right? What is your daily life, and how does your daily life look like in terms of sustainability? What are you doing in terms of driving electric car? And I know we have some initiatives with Extreme E, Count Us In, where you have to do different steps to be on front, and we always want to be number one. So tell us a little bit about your daily life in terms of sustainability. What are you doing?
When it comes to sustainability, I started to be engaged in this subject already when I was young. So around when I was 15, I was the one starting to say, well, we need to recycle back home. And I come from Sweden, Scandinavia. We are at the forefront of sustainability and recycling and doing these things. But at that time, 16 years ago now, that wasn't a big thing. So recycling, so I started that back home. I was driving an electrical scooter, so that subject was something that I was already thinking about. And I tried to think in my daily life the small things that I can change. It's not big things, but if you take a napkin, don't take two, take just one.
Yeah.
Try to walk more, try to cycle more, drive electric, like you say. If you're buying products at the store, try to think about sustainable products. I, for example, never buy in a plastic bags when I go to the store anymore. And you may think that these are just small things, but with sport and with being an athlete and a person on social media, you can really influence others. And I believe if all of us are doing these small things together, it will be a huge impact. So I think if you just can in your daily life try to think about the choices that you do and what would be the most sustainable way. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that everything I do is the most sustainable. Time to time, maybe you're not doing the right choices, but I think if you keep it in mind and try to do the best that you can, you come a long way.
Yeah. I think that's also with what Extreme E and RXR is doing, right? Raising awareness through emotion. I mean, sport is the leading platform in terms of television numbers, etc., right? And I think with what Nico is doing and with the racing team, with the sport and the emotions, raising the awareness of the problems happening in the world in the different locations where Extreme E is going, and tell us a little bit about what Extreme is doing in terms of sustainability and especially with St. Helena, for example, with the boat. We're not going by plane from A to B. Everything is on a boat, which was bought by Greenpeace. It's not yet electric. Hopefully soon it will be. But yeah, tell us a little bit about the initiatives with Extreme E.
Yeah, so speaking of, Extreme is very different sport in that sense if you look to other traditional motorsports. Like you're saying, for example, we are transporting all the materials when it comes to the cars and the tires, the tents that we use for the cars, the equipment, everything is on the sea freight, which makes the CO2 much less compared to if we would fly it around like many other racing series are doing. We are racing fully electric. We are using green hydrogen power and solar energy to charge the cars. From that, we get a byproduct, which is water. We use this water to clean the cars because obviously they get really dirty in the places that we race. We race in everything from mud in Scotland to sand in Saudi Arabia. And then also we are limited on staff when it comes on site. So if you look at Formula One, for example, it's maybe 20 people on one car. So we are maximum 8 people on each car, and that comes to drivers, mechanics, engineers, media, marketing. So limited on staff, but also that we don't have any fans on site. So it's really focused on broadcasting and showcasing that. We are engaging the fans in something called grid play so that you can vote for the favorite teams that you have. Also, there is no one-make cups or plastics or so on site, so everybody needs to bring their own gear, food gear. So, even when our team boss, Nico Rosberg, comes to the event, he needs to wash his own plate after the lunch and dinner. So all of these things we are thinking about in each step, how we can improve as a series and as a team.
Absolutely. And it's not about just racing in Extreme E, as you said, and all the initiatives with cleaning the stuff and also the materials in the car. The outer body, the body shell of the car is made of sustainable material. I know there could be other ways which maybe is less problem for the on the racing side, but I think from the car wise we want to have like a sustainable car, and also with the different initiatives with Legacy program. Yep. We have Extreme E, and also with the RXR car we have Driven by Purpose campaign. We did quite a lot in the past of that. Maybe give us a little bit your thoughts of what Extreme E is doing on that side, what RXR as a team itself is doing, what the experience was, and what were your highlights so far.
Yeah, so that is something that's very different when it comes to the racing series that we do, like you say, the Legacy program and Driven by Purpose. So before each event that we go to, we have this kind of initiative of supporting the society, either in an economic way, in a social way, or in an environmental way. So we went to Senegal in 2021 and we planted 1 million mangrove trees. We went to Greenland, we visited the glacier, because the glacier is really dark at some places, and of course we all know that the glacier is melting, but due to this dark color it's of course melting even faster. So we took samples from there, because on the St. Helena, so the ship that is transporting everything, we have a cooperation with the Oxford University, so we have professors for each site to then take research on each location that we go to. And this we did from the Greenland research, and we saw that actually wildfires, for example, like we had in Scandinavia, this one travels over to the ice cap, lays there, make this dark color, makes it melt even faster. So initiatives like this, also in Sardinia with the wildfires that they had there, we did the Driven by Purpose program. So together with TerraLife, Nico and I planted the millionth tree on Sardinia. So that was very special. And I have to say, I was a pro planting, and Nico was impressed by my planting.
Watch out, he's, I think, running around somewhere.
He is? Okay, well, I did a good job. No, and these things feel also really special. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love racing and I want to be the best athlete that I can be in motorsport, but I also do really care about these things that we do together with the legacy program in Extreme E or the Driven by Purpose, and you feel that you contribute in a good way. Because we as an organization, Extreme E, we as teams, RXR, me as an athlete, we have a huge audience, and therefore we have the responsibility to affect in a positive way.
I think what you also can see is in terms of, I mean, if you look at the car, right? Obviously, motorsport is a very expensive sport, and you need supporters, you need partners, you need sponsors, and as you can see in the car, there are different sponsors on it, and we from our side choose the sponsors based on the story and what they're doing, not on the terms of who's giving us money, right? For example, San Minimil, our main principal partner, you can see them over there in the Greenland as well, or Sanjeev yachts with the Eco yacht they're doing. So that's also part of the story, right? Telling stories together with our partners who are leading the sustainable way in their businesses as well, right? I mean,
yeah, definitely. And I mean, I often say I have the worst poker face ever. So you would see if I'm not happy with something or if I don't believe in something, you would see it straight away. And that really aligns with what you say when it comes to our partners, that it needs to feel right, and we need to feel that they have the same passionate message and driven by purpose just as we are. And that's why, like you say, it feels great to have partners like San Minimil on board and that really share our vision.
what do you think in general about sport and sustainability? I mean, you have experience, obviously, your experience is motorsport, but I know you're very an active athlete as well. I mean, you're running all the time, you did the Wings for Life World Run. I mean, you know, very close to hockey as well. So tell us a little bit about other sports and what you feel, what is needed to be done there as well.
I think that sport can make an effect on fans and communities in a very positive way, because sometimes I have the feeling that people are, you know, when you're talking about sustainability and how you can make better choices, that you are like blaming. It's in a negative way that you have to change this, otherwise, I mean, obviously it's going to be very bad if we don't change, but I like the way that we in sport can encourage in a positive way, because sport makes a lot of feelings and the positive feelings and competing and so on. And I do believe that with the platform that you have, no matter what sport you are doing, that you can affect in a positive way and engage your fans in the community. And I think that doesn't matter whether it's motorsport, and also speaking about technology, I mean, our Extreme E-car running electric, developing our batteries so it's lasting even longer. This you can also do in other sports and look over, for example, if you speak about ice hockey, how can we then make our using green energy? So there are things that you can really impact in a positive way.
I mean, you can also see it in Hall 21, right? I mean, Aon is one of our bigger partner, and they build an own football pitch just to explain that they are doing rebuilding the stadiums at the moment to have it a more sustainable way, reduce the carbon emission. I think that's anything should be standard in the future, but at the moment we need still to raise awareness on that side as well. And I think from also, I mean, different sports, everything has to do it, should do it, and especially use their voice and their reach to support and help to make this planet not even better again, but still keep it as it is for a long time.
Yeah.
What are your goals in the future? You said you want to become a world champion.
Yes.
I mean, with Johan together in Extreme, you achieved this last year.
Yeah.
We're gonna go again for this year. But you as a person, you said you wanna be your own world champion without another teammate, right?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved winning the Extreme E Championship. That was really amazing, and I definitely want to do it again. But so far, we don't have a female world champion at the very top level. And I want to be our very first female world champion at the top level of motorsport because, like we are speaking about equality, and motorsport is one of the very few sports where we can compete against each other on the same circumstances. So that is one of my really goals. But then also, of course, being in a very male-dominated world and working with Extreme like we do, I think subjects like bringing more females into motorsport, showcasing that this is a world that is welcoming females, if it's mechanics or engineers or drivers. But I also feel that it's close to my heart with the sustainability subject. So I think it's really interesting the way that we are going also in Extreme E. If you look at the development from season 1 till now, it's really amazing all the small steps that we are doing. And like you were saying in general with sports, that we have to think in a green way. And it's strange that not everyone is doing it all the time. But I mean, it's someone that needs to drive this change. And I believe that we as a team with RXR are driving this change. And I believe that Extreme E and RXR are inspiring other sport worlds to drive this change. And things like that is also really close to my heart.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Now is the time to ask questions to the fastest woman in the world. No? Yes. No, in the back. Sorry. Do we have a mic? Or just shout it out. I can hear you. Maybe use it, yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to know what some of the obstacles you face or you foresee to have motorsport to be a more sustainable sport or any kind of sport as well. And also, I'm rooting for you for the world champion.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate that. No, I mean, of course, before Extreme E came up, I was running with combustion engines when it came to circuit racing back home in Sweden or even rallycross and so on. And I felt then that as a single person, it was tough for me to make this change and to really, make a whole racing series go over to be electric. And I didn't feel that I had a voice that was big enough to make that change. Coming then into Extreme E when that came up, I was one of the first drivers to really be on board for the project, and a lot of people were saying, "Are you really sure that it's going to happen? Is it really going to be racing series?" Which I'm super proud of that I said, no, I want to be part of this and I believe in it, and here we are in season 4 racing now. But I would say that was my main thing from the very beginning before I was able to join an organization and team like this. I didn't feel that I had a strong voice enough and I didn't know who to reach out to. So that's why I feel so lucky that this came up.
Perfect. There was another question here.
So my favorite race location, I would say Greenland.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the closest to Scandinavia. And we didn't race on the glacier, but really next to it. And I think the legacy program that we did there to go up to the glacier was really amazing. The landscape was really amazing. But also it was really special because this was Greenland's ever first sport event. And to meet, so we also had a day with the legacy program that we met the local school there and the children, and to show them what we are doing. And for them, I think their longest road is 20k long.
Yeah.
They don't have any skyscrapers. They don't have things like this in Greenland. So for them, it was a really whole new world. So that was a very special moment to meet them and show what we are doing.
Absolutely. And the food was amazing. Greenland, amazing food. All right. Any other questions? Anyone? No one? All happy? Then Mikaela, thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
Thanks
Max.
for coming to the GreenTech Festival.
It's
I
been
hope you enjoyed it.
Definitely.
And next race is Scotland in July.
Yes.
And then going back to Sardinia.
Yeah.
afterwards.
favorite place, Sardinia. We had a lot of victories there. But also I want to ask you guys, because like we were saying, it's no fans on site, but you guys can really support us in Extreme E. So there's something called Grid Play, where you get to vote for your favorite team. And the teams that has the most Grid Play votes, they will get to choose their starting position in the final. So it's 2 times Grid Play voting, so please vote for us in Scotland and all the other races. That would be amazing. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's time to wake up.